I'm here on stage at the iconic Civic Theatre in New Zealand to get to talk to the people behind the magic of Wicked. Paul Flanagan, head of wardrobe, talks to us about the costumes for the witches of Wicked and shares some interesting trivia. Together.
We have 380 costumes, but each costume comes with its own shoes and gloves and hats and glasses. And, I couldn't really tell you the number of costume pieces. Lots. Just lots.
Okay, so why don't you show us some of the most iconic ones?
This way then.
Okay.
This is Glinda's bubble dress.
It looks heavy.
It is heavy, yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is heavy.
Yeah, and she has to wear that for a couple of hours and act and sing. But she's only little.
Wow.
In designing this, the designer Susan Hilferty wanted to connect Glinda very much to the sky and the stars and rainbows because in coming up with the design concept for the show, she spoke to a lot of little girls about what good means, what good looks like, and they kept saying things like princesses and brides. So she took her cue from them. So all of Glinda's stuff is kind of looks lightweight and it's frilly and it's full of layers. Elphaba, on the other hand, the Wicked Witch, is heavier and darker, and she's connected very much from Susan's point of view. She's very connected to the earth and to like seams of minerals running through the ground and opals, and designing the iconic Wicked Witch dress, she wanted to create like a stalactite that has seams of ore running through it. And when you put the Wicked Witch hat on top, that's exactly what she looks like. And again, she's heavy.
It is very, very heavy.
But underneath, with this girl, while this one is full of layers, this one underneath is quite clean so that she can run and duck and crouch down and get up and fight. So she's made it easy for the actress to wear this because she wears this for all of Act 2.
So what are the fun trivias about being in costume? So many, I'm sure.
Okay, the quick change out of this and into her shiz uniform is about 16 seconds.
15 seconds to get out of that dress.
Out of this dress and into another costume entirely with a wig change at the same time.
Really? And how many people are helping her do that?
2.
I see.
And for both of these girls, getting out of their shiz uniforms and into their Emerald City costumes is like 14 seconds, and it's like a full costume change. You've seen the show?
I've seen the show.
Do you remember at the beginning of Emerald City they run off and then they run back in and they're in completely different outfits? Complete costume change.
We are here with Kelly Richie. She's head of wigs and makeup. So Kelly, tell us, when you say that you dress a wig,
yes,
what does that mean?
So that basically means we'll set the hair in rollers, and once the hair is set, then we take it out and dress the hair up into the style that's intended to be.
Okay, and you have about 70 wigs in the show?
That go on stage every night, yes.
Okay, and then you were also saying how these wigs cost $2,000 to $7,000.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're individually hand knotted and made to fit the performer's actual hairline and head. And they take up to 18 to 40 hours to make one wig. And price also depends on length, colour. Blonde hair is more expensive because it's actually a lot harder to use and process.
So how do you secure the wig onto the head of the actress?
We have, for this particular wig, we have pins that are called Geisha Pins. And they're basically much thicker, heavier, long U-pins. I'll show you. Basically this.
That's called a geisha pin.
A geisha pin, yeah.
And then they would attach this onto the wig and then onto their scalp.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a cage around this on the inside of the wig there that's attached. So then would pin into the cage, and the girls underneath have what's called a wig prep.
A wig prep.
Yeah. So they actually prep their own hair into pin curls, and then we put a stocking cap on top of that, and then we have a base in which to pin into. Okay, do you want to come over here?
Yeah.
Basically, we have a Pancake Makeup from MAC called Landscape Green, and we have these awesomely huge brushes that we pop water into.
You put water in
Yep,
there?
Yep. And then I'll show you. You ready to get your hand a bit green?
Yes.
Yeah. The secret is getting the right consistency water to product ratio, which can take a little time when you're learning to do it. So basically we then just whip it onto the skin. So we whip it onto the skin. We have a foundation base underneath as well, so it doesn't actually grab too much onto the performer's skin.
And they can sweat through this.
We use a cream-based makeup on the top of that as well, and then we set the product with powder, a lot of powder. So I mean, there are times when they, especially with their hands, because they're using a lot in the show, like the broomstick and the suitcase, their fingertips will come off and rub a bit, which they then reapply in interval. But generally, I mean, our alpha pajama doesn't sweat, so basically nothing really moves,
Okay.
which is great. And then we have, once we've popped the green on and set that, we do a lot of highlighting and shading, which are also MAC products. So we use what's called Purple Haze, which is purple, and we do that for all the shading and contouring, which marries really well with the green. And then we have a highlighter called Vanilla, which is a really nice creamy white, which then marries it perfectly with the purple and the green.
So Kelly, tell us, how long does the makeup process take for Elphaba from start to
From
finish?
start to finish, it can take up to about 25 minutes to 45.
The biggest musical spectacle comes to Manila after the New Zealand season this January. Töngi, Rappler, Manila.